attention, baby. And I can't make a move. Like a child, a star for love. I stayed there as long as I had to. I'll cry a river of tears that flows to the sea. Baby, if you run
wow,
away,
this is really, really beautiful.
baby, if you leave.
I'm Andrew St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and then travelling to the remotest parts of the world. Australia is a big country. A very, very big country. It's easy to forget that it's actually not a country. It's actually a continent. It's taken 5 full days to get to the beginning of our expedition in the Kimberley, in the far northeastern part of Western Australia. You know what it feels like on the first day of a trip when you just set off and you've got that insane mayhem, up to the point you leave, and then you leave, and then you have to get through the city, and then you suddenly realise that you're out. We're in the bush, even though you've still got 3 days to go, but you're in the bush. Oh, it's such a. I love that feeling. The Kimberley is our goal, but to get there from my home in Perth means taking the main road north, camping by the side of the road as we go. We've had a good close to 9.5 hours behind the wheel today. Been a really good stretch. And of course it's very nice for me now because I'm driving my own truck. So many trips I do, not driving my own truck. I love driving my own truck because I've got everything around me to keep me happy and nothing to bug me. So what we're going to do now is find a place to camp. Actually quite soon. I'll give it another 10 minutes and then I'm going to start slowing down to find a place to camp. It's a first night's camp, so we don't want to set it up at night because first time we've camped together, so let's make it easier on ourselves. Nothing more to do except get something cold out of the fridge. Four-wheel driving is unlike any other thing in the world, I think, because, well, it's not about the destination. It's about leaving town. It's about leaving convenience. It's about leaving the commonplace. It's about getting away from as much as you possibly can. And already, here we are, parked at the side of the road. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Already. And we just left. We've got all 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks of not worrying about anything and just enjoying the nothingness. Plus the beauty of the nothingness. I have been lucky enough to have been stopped by one of these giant trains hauling iron ore to the coast. In 2001, a train on this line recorded a world record for the longest and heaviest train, hauling 682 cars, 99,000 gross tons on a 7.3 kilometre long train. Today, some of these trains make the world's largest robots. They have no driver. End of day 2, again, we've made about 10 hours driving today. We're again going to drive until the sun is just above the horizon and then we'll look for something to camp. Quite a lot of wind today, quite a few flies today, and hoping the wind is going to die down because camping in a wind this and not that much fun. And the very next thing I know, I've got a puncture.
I went driving off-road, looking for a campsite in the lee of a hill to try and get out of the wind. And this was the cost. And the next thing, through the sidewall, straight through the sidewall. It does not look repairable. I commonly carry several jacks in the vehicle because you never know when or why you're going to need them. Sun's coming up. Just the first rays of the sun. Oh, I won't say what I was about to say because that's more interesting. Second night, still on our way. We've still got a full day's drive ahead, and we decided, well, Chris's advice, Chris is our guide, he has said we should start our adventure in the Kimberley by visiting Wolfcreek Crater. It might be beyond the amount of time we've got today. If not, it's Lange Crossing, so we do have an alternative. But I do have to mention the tyre pressure monitoring system that actually did its job yesterday. I was driving, we were looking for a place to camp. It went beep, beep, beep. I looked down, it had dropped below 2 bar. I thought, okay, well, let me get onto a flat surface so I can at least see the tyre on a flat surface so I can then see the bulge clearly, and it was punctured. So yeah, I think this is the very, very, very first time for me that it has actually done its job. But I don't get that many punctures, so well, it's not really a fair measure, is it? But anyway, it did its job. So now I have to put the sensor back on the tyre. Distances in Australia, they really do boggle the mind. And I remember the first time it struck me that this is the case was when I went on the Canning Stock route, which was this time of year, 2017. Alice Springs on this red road, and it was my first outback expedition in Australia. And I remember we crossed across the Northern Territories border, and there was a road sign saying next services 1,100 kilometers. This reads 759 kilometers, but it's been erased because it is now far, far more than that. Now think about that. It takes a day, a good driving day, a very good driving day, if you can do that many kilometers in a day. You could actually feasibly be the only person on that road for the whole day. Granted, it wasn't a sealed surface, it was a gravel road, but to me, that is, I just love that idea. Lange Crossing and the Fitzroy River. At last we can take a break from driving. Chris, our guide, driving the white troopy, has guaranteed us a great spot next to the river. But will the crocodiles in the river pose a threat to Jeremy, who is camping in a ground tent? It would be better to have a steeper bank close or set Jeremy back from the water. That's good, doesn't it? Especially up here. So Chris, are they freshwater or salties?
I reckon from here it's a freshie.
Because they're long and thin?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
Good that we saw them.
Yeah, it's a few around.
Oh look, he's going into the water.
How cool's that?
There is one way that Australia has disappointed me in terms of wilderness travel, and that is its bird life. By comparison to most of Africa, there's far less of it. But it's very, very natural to compare places one visits with places you've visited before, like the landscape and the trees, the forests, the colour of the water, the colour of the sunrise. But every now and again Australia redeems itself massively, and that is when I've been camped and woken up near water. The bird calls this morning were fantastic.
Another similarity that I can't help making is between Kimberley's Baobab trees and the African Baobab. They are the same species, but argument continues regarding their origins. They are too new to have been part of Gondwana land before the earth crusts split, and too old to have been brought here by people. Or were they in Australia first and found their way to Africa? This remains an unsolved mystery. Our travelling companion Chris was once a resident of the area, living in Broome for several years. He knows the Kimberley very well indeed, and he's just made us breakfast, a most welcome surprise.
And the good thing now is having the inverter and have a toaster. So then you can have toast.
You got a toaster?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I do.
You got a toaster?
Yeah, and I'm aware. I've
Now,
seen it a
mate,
couple of times.
one night,
You know that's not. He doesn't feel nearly as bad about his coffee machine as he once did.
You know my coffee
a
machine
toaster.
story.
I smell coffee and remember last evening Jeremy boasting about his coffee machine.
Dude, would you please bring me an espresso in the TP tomorrow morning?
I could probably do that.
And he wasn't joking. This is possible not just because of a reasonable battery, but more importantly, a charging system that will replenish the battery quickly and efficiently. I asked for a grande soya macchiato no whip extra foam with room, and the only thing you got right was the room.
the bloke's got to be comfortable. Anyway, we'll do it one night.
These are nice. Brekkie, proper brekkie. Right, we're chasing the sunset on our way to a place called Wolfcreek Crater, and we've now, we're actually kind of leaving the Pilbara now and actually entering the Kimberley. So what I'm seeing now is kind of my first glimpse of the Kimberley proper. Wolfcreek Crater, a meteorite crater, and it's 20 k's to go, so again we're chasing the light. Wolfcreek Crater is the second largest crater in the world, from which fragments of a meteorite have been collected. It's 880 meters across, and dating has shown that a meteorite crashed to the Earth about 300,000 years ago, weighing about 50,000 tons and thought to have been traveling at 15 kilometers a second.